What's up? This is Ben from Blackstone Cherry. You're watching Sonic Perspectives.
I'm tired of feeling out of pocket, like I've become the fucking problem. I gotta find a way to stop it before the fruit becomes rotten. I'm trying to find a light that guides.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another interview of Sonic Perspectives. I'm Rodrigo, and my guest today is Ben Wells, the guitar player of Blackstone Cherry. Ben, thank you so much for joining us.
No problem. Thank you guys, man.
Yeah, well, we have a lot to unpack today, but let's talk about the new album, Screamin At The Sky. It's the band's 8th full length and comes out in September, 3 years after the previous one, The Human Condition, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you give us an overview of the writing and recording of this album?
Yeah, we wrote probably 90% of this album on tour last summer, which is really cool because we were able to play these shows and then come back to the tour bus and take that energy from playing shows and write new songs. So I think that's why the album sounds as probably heavy and ferocious as it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we recorded it in our hometown. There's a theater called the Plaza Theater. It was built in 1934. We recorded the drums and guitars there, and it just sounded so huge. So this album was really cool. It's special that it was written on the road, has a really live feel, and we were able to record it literally in our hometown.
Yeah, and I think, well, you mentioned that you wrote that on the road. I mean, with the tour being so tight in terms of schedule right now, how do you find the time? Do you plan for jams during sound checks or things like that, or?
Yeah, sometimes if we have time to sound check, we'll come up with new riffs. Like the song Nervous was written at 2 different sound checks.
All right.
But a lot of times we'll go back of the bus and we'll have a guitar and a bass, and we'll put something through Pro Tools or Logic or some kind of recording software, and we'll make like just a demo of that. And that's really how the process goes most of the time.
Right. Well, a lot of artists I talk to, they are not inspired at all when they're on tour. They just want to get the show done and move to the next one. But I'm glad you guys find inspiration. So
yeah, it's, and for us too, we knew we were going to be recording an album, so we were excited about that. So we were starting to come up with a lot of fresh ideas, Yeah. But yeah, sometimes when you're on the road, you just want to focus on that.
Yeah. And I mean, you mentioned recording an album in a theater in Kentucky, your home turf. What was that like? And I mean, how do you mic everything up in a theater? Is it obviously it's different from a studio setting, right?
Yeah. So what we did was we set up the drums on an empty stage on a drum, and then we brought in a bunch of recording equipment and we put it in the basement underneath the stage where the dressing room is. Oh, wow. And we ran cables upstairs, and our engineer Jordan, he mic'd it all up just like you would in a studio. It was this huge cavernous sound, So we did all the drums there, and we did the guitars there as well. And then the bass and the vocals we did at our drummer, John Fred. He has like a little home studio. Okay. So we did all there. So it's really cool that with technology now, the ways you can record albums, you don't really have a professional studio anymore. You can do it almost anywhere.
Yeah. Well, this idea you guys had to record in a theater, it kind of reminds me of the experiences that Led Zeppelin did in their recordings, where they go to a house on the countryside and they wrote everything and recorded everything in there. They wouldn't leave until everything was done, right?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. And well, I think that by now Steve is more than acclimatized to the band, and you've done some studio recordings with him before, but this being his first full length, I mean, it's got to have a special place in his heart, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think he was very, very excited to be there with us, and we were excited to have him with us too, because I mean, you can hear his bass playing on this record. It's amazing. Yeah. And he even played slide guitar on the song Nervous on the verse. Oh, wow. So he's a very, very talented guy, and it was really cool just to have his vibe and his passion for music in the studio with us.
Yeah. And well, you mentioned the song Nervous. To me, it kind of exemplifies why you guys are so successful. I mean, the verses are melodic. The chorus is absolutely addictive. I don't know if you agree, but to me, the strong choruses play a massive part in your success.
Well, thank you for saying that. Yeah, I mean, the chorus is what most people are going to be singing, and that's where your statement. So I agree with you. That's good. We could have the verses kind of the dynamic like that. And that just makes the chorus even that much more impactful.
Yeah. And I guess with you guys going through a lineup change and not being able to tour during COVID and many other dramatic changes on our planet lately, writing the lyrics for this album must have been quite a cathartic experience, right?
Yeah, and I think that's the album is called "Screamin At The Sky." It's called, you know, we just want to let go of a lot of things and just get it off. So I think, you know, for us, we wanted to peel back an extra layer and be really, really transparent when it came time with these lyrics, because we knew we had a lot to say, and we didn't want to beat around the bush. We just wanted to say it, and I think that's what people will respect too, because they'll listen to it and they can relate to it that way.
Yeah, yeah. I like, you know, what you guys did at Out of Pocket, for example, the first song that you guys showcased. It has that quality of addressing a specific situation that whoever wrote it faced, but other people can relate to it too. So there's that universal quality to it as well, right?
Yeah, I think so. Today, that's what we want with most of our songs, is that even though it might be coming from a personal spot, we want everybody to be able to interpret it and relate to it. Yeah.
And I mean, the title track is another one that resonates and stands out for me. How I interpret it is that it's kind of that final release after being on lockdown for so long, and, you know, so many other stuff happening in the world, right?
Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's about rearing your head back and letting it go. You know what I mean? Letting it out. I mean, I think that's why we wanted to title the album that, because most of the songs on this album kind of talk about that, you know?
Yeah. And of course, it's beautifully complemented by this cover art that you see right here in the background. So can you tell me the story about this cover art?
Yeah, there's an artist in the UK named Sam Mail, and he's done some stuff for us in the past, and he reached out and we said, hey, we're looking for somebody to do a cover, because we didn't really have any ideas, you know, for direction. And then he said, I gave him some song titles, and then we gave him some, info on the sound of the album. And he came back with a rough draft of that album cover. And we immediately were like, oh, this is incredible. And he did a fantastic job on all of the artwork. And he just nailed it. And I think it's probably one of my favorite covers we've ever had. It's really a beautiful piece of art, from the image to the colors.
Yeah.
Really.
I love it too. Yeah. By the way, on the title track, great solo on that song. Was that you or Chris?
That was Chris. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that is a cool section of that song too. I love that.
Yeah. And well, one very cool initiative that you guys have now in place is the video for Smile World, which will have submitted submissions from the fans, right? It's quite the amazing way to engage with them, but also to give them a nod, right?
Yeah. You know, that's, you know, we wanted to include our fans in this video and say, hey, you know, what makes you happy? What puts a smile on your face? Send it in. And, you know, the world needs more of that right now than ever, I think. So it's, you know, our way of including as many people as we can.
Absolutely. Well, to me, that's part, you know, adapting to the new times where you have to find new ways to engage with the fans, but also take advantage of technology, you know, and collect everything from them and showcase them in a video. That's an awesome idea. Yeah. And I'm curious about the recording of What's Love Got to Do With It from Tina Turner. I think it was intended for the album originally, right?
Yeah, we recorded that last year. And we thought it might be like a bonus track for the album. We had no real intention of releasing it. We knew we loved it, but we wanted the album just to be all original music. And then with the unfortunate passing of Tina Turner, we said, hey, let's put this song out and let's donate our portions of the money to domestic abuse. So it was kind of our way of giving back and honoring Tina Turner's legacy. Yeah.
Awesome idea, by the way. And I like that cover. So different from the original. So very cool. Very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. And well, with John being the son of Richard Young from the Kentucky Headhunters, did you guys take any advice or any cues from the music business, from him or from, from your...
They were like our mentors growing up,
Okay.
They definitely, his dad and his uncle both were very helpful. They taught us enough about what to do, what not to do, but they also let us make our own mistakes because that was important. You know what I mean? That you can't be on training wheels forever. So, but they were really helpful. And his dad, John Fred's dad, is really great with reading contracts and just understanding the business side of the business. So, I can't imagine starting out at such a young, naive age, not knowing some of that. So he was a huge help for sure. Yeah.
And I mean, for a band starting today, it's also the landscape is so different right now, right? The music industry has changed so much. I guess you could maybe do the same with bands starting out right now, right? And give them advice or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. And now it's almost easier now. It's easier and tougher because there's so much out there. There's TikToks and Instagrams, and we didn't have any of that in 2001.
Yeah.
But you know, so you can use that to your advantage. But the only problem is there's so much content out there, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are TikTok stars being made every day now, so you never know.
You never know, exactly. Yeah. And well, I got to know the band when Folklore and Superstition came out, but I finally got to see you guys live here in Toronto with Steel Panther last year. That was an awesome show, by the way.
Thank you very much. We had a great time on.
Yeah, and I was surprised at how much fun you guys have on stage. I had no idea as my first time seeing you guys live. I mean, especially John. I didn't expect a drummer to, you know, work the crowd so much as he does.
Yeah, he's a beast. Well, our live show is something that we hold very special. That's where I think we win a lot of people over. You know, they can listen to they come see us live. It's like an experience, and you know, our live means a lot to us to always deliver 110%. So. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah. And well, you played everywhere on the planet at this time. Is there a country or a venue you haven't played yet that you want to? I mean, what's on your bucket list when it comes to playing shows?
There's so many more places we want to go and see, you know. I would love for us to I'd love for us to play in Greece. I'd love for us to play Brazil was amazing. Go back to Australia again. I mean, we're just humbled to get to go anywhere. So really there's a lot of places. Luckily, we've played every U.S. state except for 2, and that's Alaska and Vermont.
Oh, wow.
So maybe we'll play one day.
Maybe, yeah. And you shared the stage with some of your heroes, right? Def Leppard, Whitesnake, Guns N' Roses, I think. Do you still freak out when you meet some of your idols face to face, or do you get used to it at this point? Or
yeah, I think it's still. I mean, you have those nerves, you know. It's a thrilling moment to meet somebody that you just looked at on a poster or out of a magazine forever. Yeah. Something I don't take for granted really at all, you know. So it is an honor to meet, you know, these other legends out there, and you know, it's something. Yeah, you don't really get used to that. It's just a really cool feeling.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of touring plans, I know you still have a few shows left in the US. Then there will be a run of shows in the UK in September to promote the album in a very intimate setting, right? Yes.
Yeah. We're doing like some of the clubs that we first started doing in 2007 over there. So it's something we haven't done in a long time, and I'm excited about that. It's going to be a really cool experience.
Okay. Will there be changes in the set list? I mean, will you focus more on the new album? And is it going to be like acoustic set or not necessarily?
No, it'll be full electric.
Okay.
I'm sure we'll do, you know, some new songs for sure, because that's what we're really promoting. But we'll definitely play the fan favorites as well.
Okay. Good stuff. Well, Ben, I'm here in Toronto, like I said. I hope you get to play here again sometime soon. But until then, I wish you all the best with the new album, Screamin At The Sky.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Cheers.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye.